How's it going YouTube? It's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys an early look at the upcoming Air Jordan 4 Retro SE in the Neon Air Max 95 colorway. This pair is set to drop on March 21st for $225 US or $300 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is Cool Gray, Volt, Wolf Gray, and Anthracite. And for those of you guys watching from Canada, this pair will be available at The Closet Inc. The Closet Inc. is an independent sneaker boutique located out of Southern Ontario, so be sure to hit them up on Instagram, check out their website, all that good stuff. Links will be down below. So these Jordan 4s are a special edition version of this shoe. Because this is March, which is Air Max month, Nike has decided to create this Jordan 4 inspired by the very iconic Neon Air Max 95. This year is actually the 25th anniversary of that iconic model, and I guess you can say they were trying to include the best of both worlds together into one sneaker. First off, here's a quick look at the box, and these come in a special edition Jordan 4 box. Instead of your traditional Jordan 4 box, in this case, this box is heavily inspired by the Air Max 95 branding. So you see how this box is done in the split fashion? Well, here is my Air Max 95 Neon box, which I believe was the 2015 retro. And putting them side by side, you'll see the similarities are very obvious. Obviously, this being an Air Jordan, they've ditched the Nike Air Max branding, and in its place, we have this Jumpman Flight branding. The similarities don't just end with the boxes. So holding the shoes in hand, so here we have the Jordan 4, and then here we have the Neon Air Max 95. I gotta say, Jordan Brand did a pretty good job including elements of the Neons into the Jordan 4 despite being two completely and very different silhouettes. Diving straight into these Jordan 4s, so similar to the 95s, the upper of the shoe is done in this full suede construction. On the toe box, we have this wolf gray colored suede, which actually feels pretty good to the touch. This wolf gray colored suede wraps around the entire length of the shoe, as you see it along the sides and the back heel of the sneaker. Below this, wrapping around the frontal half of the sneaker, we have this darker shade of gray suede. Near the top end of the shoe, here we have this lightest shade of gray suede, and then running up the center of the shoe, we have these Volt colored plastic lace crowns. In between this, we have the traditional netting that's found on the Jordan 4, and this is done in white with an underlying layer in black. On both sides of the Jordan 4, we also have your traditional wing, which is done in a pretty soft and pretty flexible plastic. We see more of this netting running down the bottom half of the shoe where the tongue is, and then the top half of the tongue is reminiscent of the Air Max 95 tongue in that it has a bit of a puffy feel to it, and it's constructed out of this white nylon. Stitched on top, we have this split tag, which has the Jumpman logo and Flight branding, and of course, stylistically, this is inspired by the Air Max logo. On the back side of the tongue, similar to all your other Jordan 4s, we have this upside down tag, which has the Air Jordan branding on it, stitched on in black. As for the laces, so these come with a thin rope style lace, which is predominantly white with hits of reflective 3M. To my surprise, I was expecting that they would give us maybe a flat style lace and maybe a Volt colored lace or a black colored lace, but unfortunately they only give us this one, which was a little bit disappointing. Pulling up the insoles, so these come with an Ortholite insole, which is pretty well padded. It's lined in Volt at the very top, and we have Nike Air branding on the heel in black. Replacing the traditional plastic heel cup and heel tab, for this model we have this dual layer sheet of 3M, and instead of the typical Nike Air or Jumpman Air branding that's found on the heels, in this case the Nike Air is much smaller, and this is again a nod to the Air Max 95. So the upper of these Jordan 4s sits atop this midsole, which is actually covered in suede. You'll see that this suede is the darkest shade of gray compared to the rest of the suede found in the upper. And then underneath the heel, we have this cutout which exposes the Volt or neon colored Air Max unit, which is encapsulated within the midsole. Turning the shoe over to the bottom, so here we have your standard Air Jordan 4 outsole. So this is for the most part done in this black colored rubber. However, there's hits of neon or Volt found on the forefoot and running down the center as well. And then this is finished off with a black colored Jumpman. From a sizing standpoint, so my feet measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and for Jordan 4s, usually I wear between a 10 or a 10.5 depending on the type of materials used, and also just depending on that specific shoe. Some I find fit more snug than others. For this pair, they definitely run more true to size, but if I was to nitpick, I'd say that they do run a little bit big. So if you're like me and you're in between sizes, I would for sure go with a smaller size. I noticed that this inner collar was more padded than your typical Jordan 4, however, the rest of the shoe itself felt much more wide foot friendly, so for me, sticking true to size was the perfect fit. Next up, from a comfort standpoint, so the Ortholite insole does give you some plushness from a step-in comfort perspective, and the plush collars around the ankles were pretty nice. So I'd say that as far as Jordan 4s go, these were pretty comfortable, but comparing this to sneakers with modern day technology, it's really comparing apples to oranges. So I'd say that they feel pretty good on feet and they'll be fine for casual use. Just don't compare them to a sneaker with Nike React Foam or Adidas Boost. Finally, from a quality and craftsmanship standpoint, I was very happy with this shoe. As I touched upon briefly in the beginning, the suede that they used on the upper was very nice, and overall this just felt like a very solidly well-built shoe. I also appreciated the small touches like the 3M laces, the 3M hit on the back, and the suede wrap midsole as well. So with all that being said, now let's lace up these neon Air Max 95 Jordan 4s and I'll show you guys how these look on feet. When the news leaked way back when that there was going to be a Jordan 4 inspired by the Neon 95s, I was very excited. Like you guys saw, I already own the Neon 95s and I'm a big fan of the Jordan 4, so I was very curious to see how Jordan Brand would execute combining the two into one. Having these in hand, I gotta say I like them, but while this is definitely a shoe I want in my collection, a part of me just thinks that it looks a little bit strange. Maybe because they're just combining two sneakers that are really far apart on the spectrum, it's just visually a bit shocking to me. But I'd say that the execution on this shoe was decent, and if you can get past that whole concept of this looking like a fake sneaker, then I feel like they're pretty clean on feet. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about these neon Air Max 95 inspired Air Jordan 4s. When these drop on the 21st, is this going to be a cop or a drop for you, or are you guys kind of scared off by the price point and hopefully waiting for them to go on sale? So again, leave your comments down below. I'm very curious to know what you guys think about this pair. For those of you guys watching from Canada, again, this pair will be available at The Closet Inc., so be sure to check them out. Links are down below. And for the rest of you, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a follow on Instagram at sgo8. Check out my Twitter account at sean.go and visit my website as well at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.